Hi, my name is Jade, and this is How to App on iOS, and I hope you're doing okay. Today I'll be taking a look at something to help you build some fantastic songs called Suggested To. It's by Mathieu Routhier, so let's oge! Suggested To is perfect for creating powerful and emotive chord progressions. Whether you're a seasoned musician or a budding songwriter, this app can help you unlock new creative possibilities and fantastic songs. It is available on the App Store as a free download, but with limited features until you unlock the app. It is an AUV3 audio unit and also works on the Mac. There are multiple ways to unlock the app, so let's take a look at those now. So let's click on the in-app purchase section here in App Raven, and you can see the plans here. Firstly, a monthly subscription, and yes, I hear you. Most people dislike monthly subscriptions, but the option is there for $5.99 a month. The one most people are going to use is the iOS key. If you're just using this for iOS, go for this one. It's $24.99. It'll unlock all of the features. But if you are a Suggester 1 user, there is an iOS key upgrade that allows you to upgrade from 1 to 2 for $19.99. Now, when it comes to the Mac, there are two types of upgrades here. So pay attention here. You've got a universal key. This will unlock iOS and Mac at the same time. So you get both of them for $44.99. There's also a universal key upgrade for $39.99, and then there's just the Mac one down here. So the Mac key by itself, if you're not even interested in iOS, go for that, $39.99, or the Mac OS key upgrade. So let's check out now how this thing works. Okay, so we're going to open up Suggested To as a standalone to kick things off, and you are presented with the Files app pretty much, and it's opened up in the folder of Suggested To. Very simple to start a project in here. You've got the plus up the top, or you can create a document or create a folder for these documents as well. We're just going to hit the plus, create a document, and the first thing that pops up is these instruments for you to choose. But if you're using this for the first time, there will be a tutorial attached to this that you can choose to follow through or not, or say, no, thank you, I just want to work it all out, but that's what I'm here to do for you. So these are the instruments you get to play with. You've got a piano, and you just touch on them to hear them, an electric piano, vintage electric, organ, strings, sweep pad, new age pad, analog strings, plus we've got some guitars, acoustic, 12-string, acoustic guitar, classical, electric, plus we have a ukulele and a steel ukulele. For this demo, we'll just choose a piano and hit done, and that is our piano selected. And now we've got to the side panel over here, options to start building our song. Now, the first one is pick a scale. Pretty standard stuff. Choose it, and you're just going to pick a scale. So we've already got a C major here. And of course, you can choose whatever you want from here. We can choose like an E, E minor, natural, done. If you want to hear the notes, you can see them represented up here. You can hit play. Plus, you have the option to create a custom scale from here as well. So there's way more options than what you think. Let's come back over here. Now, I might not want to do this. Instead, I have other options, much more options. Let's get into those. So let's cancel from here. You can choose from standard chords. When we click here, we've just got standard chords, and you can just go through all of the scales in here. So major, minor, and you can get an idea of what all these look like. So specials, right? So you've got that. Then we have a chord builder. If we click this, we can actually build our scales from chords from scratch. You've got voicing positions. You've got at a bass note. You've got octave shifts in here as well. You've got your root note. So we can test this out again by hitting play. Custom features as well, very deep custom features for building chords from here as well. So, you know, a lot of just diversity in here to create stuff. The third one down is a chord detector. Now I've got my keyboard connected here, and if I play a chord, it's come back and said that's a C, right? There's an E. There's an E minor. So yeah, playing chords in, and then you can just add them from here or copy them, hit the reset button to clear this out. So if your keyboard's connected, you're all good to go. The final one along the side here is the text to chord. So I can write in here, C, add 9, and there's that chord. And I can add that and start building from here. You've got an add over here. You can actually put in all the chords that you want here. So E minor. Can we do it that way? I'm not sure if you have to put a comma behind. Let's do a E major. No? Oh, I think you maybe have to hit enter. Let's try that. Yeah, there you go. So E, E minor. Then we can do a G. There's a G major. So you can start building those chords. And then over here you can add all or add them all individually. Really cool stuff. Let's go back to pick a scale. And we'll go just simply from here. We're going to choose an F for fun, and we're going to do a natural minor and hit done. And you will see we still have this text to chord. So let's just come up here and change this to chord suggestions. So this is what you would see once you've chosen your scale. So it tells you up the top here, F natural minor. There's all the notes that are in the scale. And here are all of your options. Now, you'll see these little arrows to the side here. You can close these off. And once you close these off, you start to see just how many suggestions there are in here. Look at this. It is crazy. So triads, suspended triads, sevenths, suspended sevenths, secondary dominants. It goes on and on and on. When you unlock them, you see all of the chords within here. So I'm just going to quickly throw together something, and we're just going to keep it nice and basic, and then we'll run through some of the other options. Of course, we're going to start with an F minor, and I'm going to add that in, the little plus here. Bang, you'll see that appear over here. And we'll go with G, E flat, and an A flat. And there we go. There is our first little section in there. Now, I'll hit play down the bottom here. I'll just move my image so you can see down the bottom. We've got some options. We've got, let's run through these while my photo's out of the way, my video. These are where you can turn on your instrument sound, your metronome sound, so we can have a metronome on if you want. You can add effects. You've got reverb in here. Let's turn that reverb up a little bit, maybe a little bit of delay. You can change the delay, the dotted hold notes, so you can do all that, the feedback of the delay. You can also change the overall default arpeggiation, because you can add arpeggiation in here, and you have some humanization, some timing and velocity, which we'll come back to shortly, but that is down there. And here we have a loop. So I can turn this on. When I hit play, this will naturally loop. Let's do that right now. So we'll turn off that loop and hit play. And it just stops there. Let's go in and take out some of that reverb. It's probably a little bit extreme. We'll just leave a little bit in there. Bring the delay down a little bit as well. And close out of here. I'll bring myself back up. Hi, there I am. So you'll notice it's playing quite fast because this is set to 120 BPM. Now there's a reason it's playing so fast. If you take a look over here to the chords, you'll notice this is playing at, when we click on this, it's playing at a half note. And you can go in here and change each of these individually to whatever you like. You've got whole notes, dotted quarters, quarter notes. You've got all the power to go in and have at it. You can add arpeggiation and step length to that arpeggiation, and also voicing, so monophonic and polyphonic. And you can test these out and play them. Say I wanted to come in here and turn this to a whole note, add some arpeggiation up, make it 16th, and then I can hit play to hear what it sounds like. But we'll bring this back to a half note and leave it all back how it was just for now, and the default, because I want to change this. Like when I add my notes from now on, I actually don't want this to be half. I want it to be a whole note. I'll show you how you do that. So head over to the settings at the top here, and you'll see note duration. So these are global settings, and you can see my global settings are set to a half note. Previews are set to a whole note. So let's go in here, change this to our whole note, and we'll come back to these settings shortly. Jump back out of here, and now I want to redo this. So instead of going back through these and changing all these individually. I'm just going to hit the edit, and I can delete these all at once. Boom. Now I can either hit that little, I can hit the little minus. Oops. Let's, can I undo? Undo. There we go. I actually undid this little thing here. So we'll go in here. We want to undo. We want to delete. But instead, I can swipe as well. So I can use my finger just to swipe these out. Now, I could have individually gone in and changed them all to whole notes, but now that it's globally being changed, let's add these back in. Boom, 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 and boom. So now you can see over here to the side, these are all whole notes and they're ready to go. Let's hit play. Nice, perfect. But this isn't going to work because these are just a bunch of notes. Let's talk about dividers. I think that's what they're called. We want to hit up here to our plus section. Hit our plus. And I mean, these are section markers. These are going to be something important that you're going to want to add to build your song, to know what these things are. And you'll notice in here too, when I hit this little plus, we get some of the same options that are in here. Yeah, so chord suggestions, all this kind of stuff, the standard chords can be found over here as well. All the same things are in there, but we have down here, we can add rests and a section marker and text. We're going to add a section marker. It's going to bring up this screen. We want to call this intro because it's just the intro. Boom. Give it a color. We'll make it pink just for fun. And we want it to, you can choose how many times it plays through. So let's just choose 2, hit plus, but it's put this intro down the bottom. Now, exactly, you're going to want to get into the habit of doing this before you add your chords. But if you don't, just so you know, you can come back and do this, hit edit, and then drag this up to the top. Good to go, done. There's your intro. Now when I hit play, it's going to play through twice. And it ends right there. Fantastic stuff. So within here too, as I said, you've got add rests, add text, and you can alter these if you want. You can see there's a little alter button, and when you click this, you've got added alterations to these chords. So this chord can be altered. You can alter the voicings, you can alter the bass, you can alter the intervals of this very, very deep stuff, yeah? Super, super deep stuff. So you can go in and do that, turn it off, or you can come in here and click this. So let's go in and play with some arpeggiation. And we'll make this arpeggio, we'll make it an up, and we'll make it, what, we'll make it like a 16th. Let's do that. Hit done. And now when we play this back, now I might want to slow that down. So let's come in here and change this to an 8th note. Make sure you hit done. And now when we play it back, cool. All right, let's come in here to this E. And let's add some arpeggiation to this as well. So we're going to come in here, arpeggiator, and we're going to go down with this one. And we'll make this a 16th this time. Hit done. And now when we hit play, okay, so I like this, but this one, this note in here, I'm not particularly happy with. I'd like to have this a little bit lower, like a lower octave. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to come over here to our chord suggestions, and there's our E. And let's talk about this little palette up here. This thing's really, really cool. So this is a modifier. So you can take anything that's in this palette here and modify it. And just for example, let's come in here. We're going to make sure we click this E. I want to come in here and modify this, and I want to bring the octave down one. So now when I play this, that sounds better. So now I'm going to add this to our little song. I'm going to remove this one, get rid of that. And then we'll hit edit and bring this up here. And then I'm going to go in and let's set our arpeggio. What was it? It was set to down and it was set to a 16th note and hit done. So now let's hit play and see how it sounds with a lower octave. Yeah, that's better. I like that. So there you go. Now just remember with this little modifier up here, as long as this is on, what you've selected in your modifier section is going to affect all of these. So I can come back up here and hit 0 and you'll see that light goes off now. But whatever I've changed in here, if we do an inversion or this or that and close, that light will be on. Now it won't affect anything over here, but everything else that you add from here on, if this is selected on, will be affected. And when you turn it off, it won't affect anything that you've dragged in here. It's just to make modifications. Really, really cool stuff. I really like this app. So now let's take a look over here at these settings. I'm going to click over here, and this is where your overall settings reside. So you've got these notation settings, so you can simplify accidentals, double root of triads. So there's so much in here. You can play the bass notes. This is where you've got the note duration and previews. Fixed to do section. So for example, do, re, mi, you've got your user interface. So the row size, so you can change the row size of these as well. And you can come in here and change. So here's our system size. You can come in here and make these larger, smaller, whatever you like. You've got the chord collections. You can make these larger and smaller. So you've got options to do that. The guitar section in here. When you change to a guitar, you're going to get, instead of I'll show you this in a second, you can choose right-handed, you can choose how many frets, 5 frets, 4 frets. See, if we go 5, you're going to get more in there. Audio, these are your octaves that play in the background. Syncing, so for playback quantization. Your export options, you've got MIDI input, MIDI output, Bluetooth. Yeah, so we'll just put don't allow for now. And here's where you can find your unlock and restore purchases. This shows you what you get when you pay for it. Access to all sections of the app, access to all chords, access to all scales, create custom chords and scales, access to all instruments, access to all arpeggio modes, access to rootless voicings and open voicings, MIDI input, MIDI output, export to text, audio or MIDI file, complete access to the audio unit plugin, family, sharing, blah, blah, blah. And you can restore down here as well. So those are the settings. Let's go in while we're here just quickly and change this to a piano. Can we do that? Let's do that to a guitar, sorry. So we'll come in here, we'll choose the acoustic guitar. And now you'll notice over the side here, we now have the acoustic guitar settings. When we hit play, nice. And it works for all of the other instruments. Let's go back to piano. Just wanted to show you that. You can change your tuning as well. Be aware there's heaps of guitar tunings. It's ridiculous, yeah? So all your favorite guitar tunings, we'll come back over here and choose a piano just for this example. Boom. Now we want to add in some more chords, don't we? So let's come in and add a brand new section here. A selection marker, and we'll just put a verse. Call it verse 1, and we'll do 2 times playing this. We'll make it red, done. We're ready to go. Let's add some chords. So we finished here on this A flat. Let's show you some of these sections up here. So you also have scale degrees. So this will give you your major, minor. So this will give you other chords. So we're ending over here on this. So let's just go completely wild and add a C minor, and this, and this, and what are we doing? Sweet. Why not? So we're going to do that, and this is going to play through twice. So now if we come here and hit play, Nice stuff. All right, so here are the options before we jump over to an AUV3. You can export the entire song, or you can export the suggested document. Let's hit export song just to show you the deal. And if you've paid for it, you can export the MIDI. So you can drag and drop as well. We'll show you that once we're in AUV3. You can export this as an M4A, which will use the instruments that are in here, of course. And you can export a text document. So nice stuff. Let's try it from here and just hit save. The MIDI, we're going to put it in audio share. And there it is. There's your MIDI. Right, so obviously it's got no instrument, but super easy to save the MIDI. Let's bounce back over to Suggester. And we can save it as a M4A. Let's do that as well. And we'll go to Files, into Audio Share, and save. Let's bounce back over to Audio Share. We should see that in here. Sweet. Easy to do, right? No problems there. Just let me remind you too, with our metronome, if we click down the metronome, here's where you can choose your BPM, your numerators, your denominators. So, you know, 3, 4, 4, 4, 8, 7, whatever you want. It's all here. And you can tap it in or type it in. Good stuff. Easy to go. So let's save this now and let's open it up as an AUV3. So in here too, we had borrowed chords. Let's show you that. So you can see borrowed chords in here, parallel modes, parallel scales, a whole lot of complex stuff if you really want to get down to it. Classic progressions. So you also have stuff like this, basic cadences. And there's plenty of them. You got some jazz stuff. And you can just start with these if you want as well. Anyway, let's get out of here and let's jump over to an AUV3. So first we need to save this. And all you need to do to save it is just go back here and that has saved. So we should have it saved. Let's make sure it's all saved. Are we all good? Yet nothing's changed from when I close this out. And the best thing to do is to go in here and rename this. So we're just going to call this test. And we know that's called test, ready to go. So let's bounce over and open AUM and use it in here. Firstly, you can open this up as an audio instrument. Of course you can. To search for Suggester. There it is, Suggester 2. And then you get all the functionality that is available in the standalone. Just so you know, some of the little icons have moved, so you'll find them down here, right? So let me just get out of the way. So they're down here. If I want to import what I just made, we come down here and import document. And there it is. We want to go to recent. Just going to go to recent. There's our test. And here is our track. So this is now hooked up to AUM and running at 120 BPM. We can control it all through the transport here. And if I hit play, sweet. So we can stop that here. Let's kill this for now, get rid of it, and we'll get also you can load it as a MIDI and MIDI processor. Let's look for Suggester 2 MIDI. And we need to load up an instrument. So let's just do a piano tech. And we'll send this out here, out to piano tech, and it should be ready to go. Let's once again load up the project that we had down the bottom here, import document, and recent test, boom. So working perfectly there, but let me show you some really cool stuff here. I just love this. So we're going to open up down below here a copy of Helium from 4 Pockets. And I want to open up Helium and bring this down here. I want to open up Suggester, make that a little bit smaller. And I want to export the MIDI. Yeah, I actually want to export the MIDI out here. So we're going to go down to this little section here and hit export song, wait for this window to come up, and here's our MIDI. I can drag and drop this straight into Helium. And that should be done. Let's make this full screen, and there is our MIDI. Let's just remove Suggester from the list here and send Helium out to Piano Tech. And what have we got to do? We've got to sync, loop. We should be able to play. There we go. Super easy to do that. Okay, now I could go heaps further into showing you more on this, but let's focus on Logic because I want to get into Logic. A lot of people are using Logic. How can you use this to your advantage in Logic? Well, let's close out of this and bounce straight over to Logic. And we'll need to create a brand new project. So let's create a brand new project and tracks. And we want to create a MIDI track over here. Good to go. Now you're going to need to load this as a MIDI effects. You can load it as an instrument as well, like I just showed you in AUM. But let's show you some cool stuff with it here. So we'll just do a search for Suggester to load this up. It's now loaded. We'll make it full screen. We'll get rid of this down the bottom here. Let's make it full screen. Now I want to import again what we just made. So here's our song. Oh, we don't want to do that. Get it right. You're right. You loser. Come on, Jade, get it right. Import document and recent. And there's our test. And here it all is ready to go. So immediately I can close this down and let's add in an instrument. So let's just use the studio piano from Logic. And now if I play this, we're good to go. But you need to remember when you are wanting to record to track with a MIDI processor, you need to hold down here and hit record to MIDI track. So the notes are going to come in here. So let's do that. Let's go in and record these notes. We'll just open up so you can see it actually happening. Hit record, go back to the start, hit play and record. Let's Oge. Sweet, that's recorded. Let's stop it so you can see all that MIDI's in there, ready to go. We can turn off record. We've got all our MIDI, but I want to add tracks to this. I want to add a chord section up the top here and you know, and make this a song and add in some Logic instrumentals, some drums and some piano and some bass and all that kind of stuff. Let's show you how to do it really easily. So firstly, we have to click up here to bring our little chord section up the top down. We're going to hit plus. And I'm just going to drag this over here. We don't need that there. We're going to shrink this down, just zoom out, and we've got our first chord. So you can see the length of that first chord there. And we want to play these in from Suggester too. So let's come down the bottom here, and we're going to click on this section. And now that we have this selected, you can see input MIDI to play these notes in. Now let's bring up Suggester 2. So we can see our chords, and we'll make sure our little chord section, we're selected on that. So all you need to do is hit the use MIDI input, boom, and play the chord. And you can see that has updated to an F minor. Now I'm going to hit the copy up here, and we're going to drag these out. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm going to turn that off and click on the second one and use MIDI input and our G. Click the next one, use MIDI input. There we go. Click on the next one, use MIDI input. And there's our first section in there. Let's just close this out for now. And let's repeat this, and I'll show you how to do that. Hit the select and select all 4 of these, then click select off, click one of these, and hit group chords. And now we can copy this across. And there's our first section ready to go. Okay, easy peasy. Now let's move on to that chorus, and we want to come in here, set our marker, add a brand new chord. Let's shrink this down like so. And here are our chords down here. So once again, we're going to open this side panel. And first we want to drag these out. So let's make copies of these. 2, 3, 4. We only need 4 because they repeat. Click on this first one and use MIDI input, C minor. Next one, use MIDI input. Next one. And our last one is this G, so we'll go up here one more time, use MIDI input, and done. We can close this out of here now. We can pull Suggester 2 out of the way. And once again, we're going to just use the select button up here and select all 4 of these, click off select, double tap, and group chords, and then do a copy. And there's all our chords. That's ready to go. So with ease now, we can just bring this in. We don't even need Suggester connected anymore. So let's come out here and let's just turn it off. So it's just playing the studio piano. And now we can come in here and add our session players. Let's add a drummer. Okay, what do we want from this drummer? Not hard rock, maybe like a pop rock. Let's do that. Done. Let's and close this down for now. We'll just close all these out. Let's add a... We'll add a bass player. Done. And we'll also add another piano, so a keyboard, and we can make this a guitar if we want, whatever we want. Easy peasy. Let's close this out. Now we can drag these like so. Just grab the handles and they'll auto-populate because we have our chords up the top. Yeah. So it's going to auto-populate those chords. And now very easily we should see our chords up the top, hit play, and it should just work. Beautiful stuff. And now that we have these chords in here, we can make copies of these. You can come over here, hit copy, create a brand new track, like so, MIDI, and then we can paste these in, not a problem at all, she says. Hit paste, boom, and then we can choose an instrument from the side here. Let's just kill that little piano. Come over here, instrument patches. Let's do a search. Let's say guitar. Hit guitar. We've got an acoustic guitar here. There it is up the top. Acoustic guitar, drag that in here. Also remember, I might not want to use this exact same chord progression with the arpeggios in there as well. I might just want to use something like just the straight chords. Remember, you can do that kind of thing too, just by clicking the copy up here and copying all these together again, and then turning it off, clicking and grouping all these chords together. Now that they're all grouped, you can click on them like so, and then hit copy, create a brand new MIDI track down here. And once that's in, come down here and paste in those chords. Bang. So there's your chords in here, and you could add something like, iSymphonic. Let's just grab like a very simple full strings, and we'll turn this down because iSymphonic's normally a little bit loud. So we'll bring that right down. So that was a brief look at Suggested 2 for all iOS devices and the Mac. It's free to download with limited functionality and plenty of options to unlock all of the features. As you can see, it's quite a simple yet powerful tool to help you create your best music. Are you enjoying the content here on the channel? Please let me know in the comments below. It really does help, you know what I'm saying? And while you're down there, if you could smash the like, hit that subscribe, and ring the bell to keep up with all of the latest app demos and live streams, it would make me super happy. Okay, time to get out of here for today. Remember, do the things that make you happy. Mistakes make you better, and we'll all rise together. Stay awake and let's Oj!